Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to integrate user authentication with Firebase in a Plasmo Chrome extension project. We will be creating a very basic extension as an example with a login button that once you click it, a window pops up and lets you sign in with Google. We'll start by installing Plasmo locally. Next, we'll create a Google Cloud project to set up Google Sign-In, then a Firebase project for authentication, and finally we'll connect all three ends together. If you don't know Plasmo, it's an all-in-one open source platform for developing, testing, and publishing browser extensions. Plasmo has a lot of advantages for extension developers. Out of the box, it lets you build with React and Vue and use a shadow DOM to prevent style leakage. It also has live reloading and a custom build folder for all possible browsers. I will be working according to this blog post, which you can find a link to in the description. Let's start. I'm going to open a new VS Code project and type pnpm create plasmo -- with firebase auth. This part will create a Plasmo project for us, and this will set up the specific example for Firebase auth. By the way, I'm going to be using pnpm as a package manager because this is what the Plasmo team recommends. But you can use npm or yarn if you prefer. But you can also very easily install pnpm by simply running npm install -g pnpm. Okay, now we need to define some metadata for our extension. Extension name, I'm going to call it something like Plasmo Firebase video and click enter. Description, showcasing how easy it is to have auth with Plasmo. Sounds just about right. I'm gonna click enter. Author name Omri, that's my name, and now the installation is running. Should take about a minute or two, and it's finished. The first file we should be looking at is this example env file right here. We have a few examples laid out for us, and basically the rest of this example is all about configuring these variables from Firebase and from Google Cloud. This is an example env file, so let's create another file called .env.development and copy paste all of these variables into it. Great, now we have Plasmo installed on our project and we can start setting up Google Cloud. Google Cloud and Firebase are integrated and they work together for the authentication, but setup is managed separately. To set up Google Cloud, let's go on this link right here. And if it's your first time on Google Cloud, you will have to sign in order to see this screen. Then click on My Projects and create new project. Name your project. I'm going to call mine Plasmo Firebase. No organization, that's fine. And hit create. Wait a second while it's creating. And now we can go inside our new project. Click API and Services, and now we need to create a consent screen for our app, which is this screen that we're all used to seeing when logging in to a service with Google. In the sidebar, click on OAuth Consent Screen. Select External and then Create. Choose an email for user support. This has to be the Gmail account you're connected with. You can possibly upload a logo here, an email address for Google updates, and we're ready to save and continue. Because we work with Firebase, we don't need to set up scopes. Firebase will set it up for us, so we can click Save and Continue. Test emails. Here you can add your test users to avoid login issues before Google approves the consent screen. I'm going to add my own email just in case. Then click Save and Continue. And now we have Google Cloud set up with a consent screen. Great! We can now go ahead and work on our OAuth client. On the sidebar, click on Credentials, Create Credentials, OAuth Client ID. From the drop-down, choose Chrome extension. Now we need to choose a name for our extension. I will put a random name. And here we need to add an item ID, which is the unique ID of our Chrome extension. You can usually grab it from the end of the URL of your extension, but since we didn't create a Chrome extension just yet, we will use this tool by Plasmo to generate a temporary value for us. This tool will generate a placeholder key for testing until you publish your production extension. Click Generate Key Pairs. Copy the public value, go back to VS Code, and put it under CRX public key. Now, if we look in our manifest inside the package.json, we can see that key is already set up for us for this value. Let's copy the CRX ID as well and paste it into the OAuth client. Please note that once you upload your real extension, you will have to change these values with the actual extension ID. Okay, now let's click Create. We have a client ID. Let's copy it and paste it into our env file under Plasmo public Firebase client ID. And once again, if we look in our package.json, we can see this variable is in use in the manifest under OAuth.client ID. Great, we're done with setting up Google Cloud. Let's now work on setting up a Firebase project. Go on the Firebase console using this link. If this is your first time using Firebase, you will have to first sign in to see this page. And let's create a new project by clicking here. Give it a name. Click Continue. And create project. This should take about a minute. And our project is created. Let's click the button here to create an app within our project. Name it as you wish and click Register. And now we got a bunch of configuration for the SDK that we need to insert in our project. So let's go back to our env file and copy each of them. API key goes in the public API key. Auth domain, project ID, storage buckets, messaging sender ID, app ID, and measurement ID. Now let's enable Google Authentication in Firebase. So let's close this window. In the sidebar, under Build, click Authentication, and then click Get Started. Choose Google, click Enable, select an email address, and click Save. Now, under Safe List Client IDs, add your Plasmo Public Firebase Client ID that we created earlier. And that should be it. We figured out Plasmo, Google Cloud, and Firebase. So let's build our app and see if it's working. Open the terminal in VS Code and run pnpm run dev. Now a build folder was created for us and we can see it right here. Let's open Google Chrome, manage extensions, make sure developer mode is on, click load unpacked, navigate into the folder where you created the extension, go into build and select Chrome MV3 dev. Open the extension and there you have it. We have a pop-up window with a login button. Once we click it, we get a login screen. And after choosing an email address, we can see the consent screen we created earlier. Now, theoretically, users can simply sign in to your extension. And once they are logged in, they will see a logout button. And this logic is all set up in the popup.jsx file in our project by importing the user object from the Firebase package. And this is it for this tutorial. I think Plasmo is an absolutely amazing platform and I want to make more videos about it. So if this tutorial was helpful or if you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments. Bye and thank you for watching.